Yo, what's going on guys, it's your boy Poison Okami here, me, myself and I back again with another video, and today we're coming at you with a tutorial. As you've seen by the title of this video, is going to be about Switch Tech. Now a lot of you might be confused, Yama, Switch Tech is no longer in the game, why are you making a Switch Tech video? Well, that is correct. If you try to do the order of Switch Tech, you can no longer save Chakra like you could in Storm 4. That was pretty much the whole tech part of Switch Tech. But keeping the name the same, I figured I might as well still continue using it, and let me show you why it is still important in Storm Connections. So although you actually cannot save Chakra, and now you'll be doing 2 Chakra dashes for the price of 2 instead of for the price of 1 as you would in Storm 4, you can now actually still use this benefit because now your support gauge will come back faster in this game than they used to than before. By leader switching, as you can see there, my right support is going to come back a lot faster than compared if I do his Jutsu as a support. If you use it as a support, as you can see, the gauge is now refilling so much more slower, it's not even worth it sometimes. Now I know at this point in the video is very conflicting because you see a lot of competitive footage of one person just using one character and then calling out their supports as such in the battle and playing about this more singles sort of Storm Revolution style gameplay, where they're just summoning their supports every so often when they come. But to be honest, there are actually ways you can actually use these jutsus and still get them back just as fast. For a reminder of base fundamentals in terms of switch mechanics, or leader switch tech I should say, basically a way that I did it was to press the triangle button and then switch and then do the action. That's how I primarily did it in Storm 4, and that's how I did the Chakra saving tech with it back then. So the method still applies if I don't do a double dash, so triangle switch dash or triangle switch X, triangle switch X. You can even look at the controller on the bottom right of the screen. You can see that I hit triangle, switch, then X, as you can see in that order, and you can see that my characters are still going to dash at the enemy. And then if you want to make it a double Chakra dash, all you gotta do is just add another Chakra dash after that. So do your switch Chakra dash and then Chakra dash. So why is doing the switch Chakra dash so beneficial? Well, because it can actually lead on to a lot of offensive and defensive plays into your neutral game. If I turn the opponent to block all the time here, you can do 2 Chakra dashes on block, which instantly puts the block in red. That's pretty good. So if you did something like this, that's a guard break. And then by the time I'm actually in the middle of doing my combos and stuff, Lee and Ino come back just at the right time. And then there is the guard breaking tech that I actually did have a tutorial for in Storm 4, and that I'll just showcase in this video too. It's actually by doing a leader switch dash into jump kunai like so. As you can see, I made his guard red instantly, and in one hit his guard was getting broken. I'll demonstrate it one more time. As soon as Ino hit him with whatever her first hit was, boom. So I actually just wanted to show that the game doesn't discriminate whether it's a kunai or a shuriken. This will work either way. As you can see, Shisui shuriken, it still works. And then when I wait for Lee to come back, oops, Lee's shuriken still works. Obviously I weakened the guard, so let me demonstrate again. There we go, that's off of a healthy guard there. Guard reset again. If you do it a little too fast, if you do the kunai too fast with Shisui, you do have to do the full combo to break. So if you want to do this with the likes of Shisui, just wait a little longer, and then you can get the guard break off. So this is a very good way to approach to get like really good guard breaks right off the bat like so. Obviously if you apply this during the middle of a match when the guard is like already weakened, then you're looking at some like instant guard breaks, you know, say like, you know, guard damage has already been done, then you go in like this, there you go, easy clap, you've just opened them up nice and easy. So again, to do this is, you know, your leader switch dash. So the way I do it is to do triangle X and triangle switch and X, and then jump kunai, and then you can go in, and that is how you open up your opponent. Now this won't always work because obviously the way around this is that your opponent would be constantly moving or bunny hopping. You mainly want to do this if you like, maybe let's say that you're jailing them and then you want to open them up like this. That's a more realistic approach if your opponent has no subs and you're trying to open them up. Again, these are very situational cases in which you would have these things happen. Now, I'm not saying this is the best way to play the game. I'm not entirely saying that, you know, playing without leader switching is the best way to play either. I've seen a lot of styles work in lots of different skill levels so far in my time in Storm Connections, but I think this is a very good way. So obviously the Jutsu side of this is obviously to do triangle, switch, then circle. That is how you do the Jutsu side of it. So ways to apply this is that if you're dashing against a block, you can just do something like that. So I'll do that again because I did that very fast. I do dash, and then as soon as I bounce off the block, I cancel the block animation with the Jutsu animation, and then, you know, I switch tech it, so like so. They can't do anything about that. As soon as you do that, they're yours. So, I mean, to be honest, this guide is actually showing how powerful Lee is as a character. You know, you might want to have Lee as your main guy to do this, because he is going to break those guards for you, open up the opponent for you, and you know, then you can do whatever it is you need to do with your setups. So another way to approach via Jutsu is actually by using you know, switch tech like this. Oh no, Lee messed it up. There you go, like that. You can do Jutsu setups like that as well. Go into your next character and then do whatever else. So, you know, there are ways of doing things like that. Obviously, you want to layer your dashes as well. So this is why switch tech jutsu is good, is to layer dashes more accurately. You know, by doing this, I can run within the flower bomb and give myself a safe approach. Obviously, you can do this by calling in supports, but again, by doing this, you are slowing down your support gauge coming back. Now, Shisui is going to take like 3 years to come back. So why would I do that if I can just do this? And if I'm going to get punished, or if the opponent whiffs, you know, makes me whiff or whatever, I can switch back to Shisui here to maintain distance. This is why leader switch tech is always important, because it also helps you play with the positioning on the field. If you don't want to be close anymore and you want to switch up your opponent's mindset, you can switch back to the original Jutsu caster. Things like that, you see? Now, things like that can be abusable, unfortunately. I've seen some real nasty Shisui abusable setups. I do not condone doing those because it's very toxic and not fun at all. But obviously, I'm sure a lot of you have a good idea on how you could do some very nice setups here with switch tech. And then, yes, let me actually demonstrate how you can do this defensively. Now, it's going to be kind of hard because obviously I can't fully control what the CPU does. But by sending Ino forward, and by also doing this as well, another benefit there is that any jutsu that's casted will go to the previous opponent, or sorry, the previous character. So when Hiruzen sent out that shuriken jutsu, and I did the switch tech with Lee, when I switched off of Lee, it all stayed tracked onto Lee, and I was able to escape with Ino. So that's always a benefit. As you can see, leader switching with Ino there, I was able to get out of the damage, and instead Shisui took the damage for Ino because he's a nice guy like that. And as long as I keep this up, as you can see, I can shut down their chakra dashes by doing a support chakra dash or a chakra dash switch tech, if that's what you want to call it. As you can see, I can zone out my opponent. So this is how I'm using it defensively. I can send out Shisui's jutsu. It's forcing my opponent to move around the map a little bit, forcing them to rethink strategies here. As you can see, I'm using Ino's jutsu defensively, sending Lee out. As you can see, I'm escaping just fine. It probably does help that Ino's got very good ninja movement. She probably has one of the best ninja movement in the game. And as you can see, I can use Ino to stun him, so I can start a combo on him too. So this is another thing as well. If you call in your support like so I call in Lee here, and I do whatever, and I switch back into Lee, even though because you leader switch, the game counts it as you summoning them as a support. So even though Ino wasn't used as support, Ino is now going to come back at regular support call rates, as you can see here, because it wasn't leader switched off the bat. But if I do Lee's jutsu and then leader switch it, like so, then as you can see, when Lee gets off the stage, he will come back very fast, not long behind Shisui did. So I thought I would just mention that in case any of you try to be cheeky by doing a little bit of this and leader switching and thinking that's going to help you get it back faster. In a way, this actually does get your support back faster, because the person who you just switched off of is going to restart the gauge immediately. Because here's another thing with leader switching. The gauge doesn't refill until the character's off the screen. So when I leader switch Lee here, Lee's gauge doesn't come back until he jumps off the screen. that's when the gauge starts refilling. So that's always something you want to consider as well. There is actually just one more piece of switch tech that I will show you guys, and it is actually the combo switch tech. Now this one isn't actually too, whoops, I turned on the wrong thing there. This one isn't actually too overpowered, it's actually just a very useful technique. But with this, you can actually just do combo switch tech. So by doing that, I just do leader switch and circle at the same time. I usually hit circle twice within the span of the leader switch stun, just to make sure that they really get like their IC2 out. Some characters are better than this than others, because there are characters like Ino that can provide a lot of stun, but sadly there are characters like Lee that give little stun. And then Shisui is like somewhere in the middle. His stun is like very mediocre. He provides enough hits that you can land like an ultimate Jutsu off of it, but yeah, so like if I go into Lee here, I could just about land that. But if I were to do Lee into Shisui, I mean, if the guard was on, the opponent would have been able to block that. I should have turned on the guard. But yeah, there's that. And then for all you buffer fanatics out there, grab buffering is still very much in the game as well. As you can see, you can still grab buffer. You just can't jutsu buffer because the way, the way combos are cancelled are instant now. They don't buffer until the end of an animation. However, grabs are still the same as previous games. So if I press circle and then start hitting grab, she will grab at the end of an animation of a string. But that is pretty much everything I wanted to show off in terms of switch tech for this guide, this tutorial. I hope you will then begin to understand a different way and a different level of playing. And to help you understand how this can be implemented in battle, I can show you guys a win that I got against a very good European player on the PC side of the game, because when I play on PlayStation, I don't get matches very often, and when I do, people just leave. So I've been playing PC more. So yeah, this very strong PC player. You can see I use a lot of the switch tech tactics that I show in this guide in that match. So feel free to watch the match to understand how it looks like in a realistic scenario. Anyways, it's been your boy Poison Okami. Any questions, ask them in the comment section below. As always, Janet.
이게